Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes here, and it is time for my review of the newest track from Eden. This one is called Start End. Eden is an Irish singer, songwriter, producer, and instrumentalist, best known for essentially being incredible in every aspect he pursues. If you're a longtime subscriber of my channel, you're well aware of my love for this man. He's the only artist I've ever given a solid 10 to, and he actually took both the top 2 spots on my top 10 EPs of 2015 list, as well as the number 2 spot for my top 10 EPs of 2016. Needless to say, any new music coming from Eden is very exciting, and Start End just happens to be exceptionally exciting. Largely because the song is allegedly the first single from Eden's upcoming first ever album. This information was leaked through a couple of different Redditors who went on to mcmxcv.eu and pirated the MP3 of the preview that Eden uploaded of Start End, and the information for the track contains some information about the album. It's going to be called Vertigo and have 13 tracks, this song being the third one. Although Eden hasn't officially confirmed this information himself, we can assume it's correct considering Eden hasn't put out any music in 13 months. While I Think You Think Too Much of Me only came out a year after End Credits, and End Credits just a few months after Bipolar Paradise, I'd say, yeah, this information is most likely right. We're probably getting an album coming from Eden, and I couldn't be more excited about it. And as stoked as I am for that album, that's not really what this video is about. Let's dive into everything that Start End has to offer. There are a lot of things to take away from Start End, but I think one of the most important ones is that this is a very odd first single. It even kind of reminds me of how Porter Robinson promoted his debut album, Worlds, in that the very first single that people got to hear from it was very different than anything he had done before. Start End is very experimental, it's very disjointed, and it's very unpoppy. And this is not what I would have expected coming from Eden, considering just his last EP, I Think You Think Too Much of Me, was fronted by the heavily pop-influenced single Sex. This song, though, on the other hand, is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from Sex, and in general, the I Think You Think Too Much of Me EP, I'd probably compare Start End to something more like Interlude from the End Credits EP, by means that the song is broken into 3 very distinct parts which work together in a very strange way. Start End begins with a very haunting choir of violins which Eden begins to sing over and honestly sounds kind of disconnected from. After that we get into another section which I like to call the beep section of the track, where we get this kind of boop, beep, boop. Eden kind of solemnly sings over this with absolutely no backing but the beep sound. The vocals kind of start to chop, and then an acoustic guitar comes into the track which kind of eases out the very haunting feel that it has prior to that point. And then the section after that is we get the very hard-hitting R&B section that we most know Eden for at this point. For most of the track, Eden kind of stays on that path, although he does kind of go back into the boop beep boop section toward the end, which actually heavily reminds me of Coldplay's song Oceans from their Ghost Stories album. Although I'd say Eden pulled it off a little bit more creatively, just because he kind of puts the beeps a little bit offbeat and kind of cuts them off at interesting times, which adds to the track's disjointedness. So the form of the track is a little bit weird, but what else does the song have to offer? Well, a lot actually, and I think a large part of this comes in terms of the lyrics. While most of the songs on I Think You Think Too Much of Me, especially Sex, in my opinion, were fairly straightforward and easy to decipher, Eden leaves a lot of room on this one for interpretation. Even the official lyrics of the song have been somewhat of a debate in the Eden community. I have never seen a song by Eden where there has been so much back and forth as to what the actual lyrics of the song are, and they're literally in the description of his SoundCloud upload of this. I think a lot of that, though, is that Eden wants this. He wants people to sit down and share their own personal interpretations of this song coming from their own personal experiences. He's not going to give anything to anyone straight up. He's going to take his voice and he's going to distort it a number of different times in this song to kind of obscure the lyrics a little bit and what exactly he might be trying to convey. A lot of this idea for me comes in the form of verse 3, where Eden distorts and kind of edits his vocals so much to a point where you can't understand almost a single word he's saying. In fact, if it hadn't been for the official lyrics being up on his SoundCloud, I would have had no idea what this verse said. And some people are right off the bat assuming this song is about a past relationship that Eden wants back, but honestly, Eden seems to be in a pretty happy place right now with his relationship. I think this song is about something much deeper coming from his heart and his philosophy on the world and what it is. And like I said, I think he's trying to get other people to kind of interpret it in their own way. People aren't going to just get this song. It's not going to happen. Another thing that makes this song one of my easy favorites that Eden has ever put out is what he does with the lyrics in certain spots of this song. One of these things is that in Start End, Eden has a second chorus that's written, but instead of being placed in a different spot of the song, he layers it almost right on top of the original chorus, kind of just echoing just past it. Another interesting tidbit that I really liked about this song is that the group of phrases that make up the pre-chorus almost sound like Eden speaking backwards from what he actually means, which really adds to that disjointed feel that Start End has, where instead of saying, is this living right, is this burning bridges, he says, is this burning right, is this living bridges, and instead of saying, can we build our future right, learning from past solecism, he says, can we build our past right, learning from future solecism. Like I said, it's a really weird, off-kilter, and disjointed track, and I absolutely love it for that. And obviously, you know, not everyone's going to love that. I know a lot of people that listen to Eden almost strictly for his more pop-leaning tracks like EXO and Sex and Rock and Roll, but I personally really love this track, and I think what it ultimately represents is that with Vertigo, with Eden's debut album, we're going to get something more experimental than we've ever seen before from him, and he could possibly get industry-wide respect from whatever he puts out with this. As always, when it comes to my track reviews, I won't be giving this song a rating, but I will say this is probably my favorite work that he's done since the End Credits EP. I really love it that much, and I would strongly encourage you guys to check this one out. Sometimes singles leading up to albums aren't that worth checking out. This is not one of the ones you want to miss. Absolutely listen to this. As always, I have the Spotify link down in the description for you to check it out yourself, and if you have listened to it already, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. As always, I'm Landon Remixes. I hope you guys enjoyed today's track review, and I'll catch you later. Peace.